I've come to learn that how we begin our days and how we cleanse ourselves is more than just routine. It's ritual, it's reflection, it's a message to the body about how much we still respect the life inside it. For years, I started my mornings the same way: hot water, heavy soap, rush out the door. It felt clean, it looked normal, and it worked, until it didn't. Over time, I noticed changes, not dramatic but persistent. My skin dried out faster, my energy dipped earlier, and something deeper, harder to name, felt off. At 61, I no longer move on autopilot. I move with intention. I listen before I act, and I act with care, especially when it comes to the simple things. Because the older you get, the more power hides in the details. Water temperature, ingredients in your soap, how long you stay under that stream. In this video, I want to walk you through 5 silent habits in the shower that can wear you down slowly. Habits I had to unlearn, and ones I think every man deserves to notice before they do damage. If you're here because you care about energy longevity and honoring the vessel you've been given, tap like, subscribe for more mindful living, and leave a comment. What's one small ritual you never questioned? Until now. Let's get into it, starting with the one habit that steals more vitality than it gives. Shocking fact number 1. Hot baths can be dangerous for the heart. You know, over the years on tour, I've picked up all sorts of wellness habits. One of my favorites, long hot bath. They've always been my go-to after a show, sweat pouring, muscles aching, and just needing a place to chill out. But let me tell you something that really shook me. Those steamy soaks can actually mess with your heart, especially as you get older. I didn't used to think much about what happens to your body when you dip into seriously hot water. I just thought of it as relaxing, like a private reset. But what feels like comfort can sometimes carry hidden risks, particularly if you're over 65. What I learned flipped my perspective on something I used to do daily without question. Here's the deal. When older folks step into hot water, their blood vessels expand fast. That sudden dilation can cause your blood pressure to drop sharply. If you're younger, maybe that just makes you feel a little lightheaded for a moment. No big deal. But when you're older, and especially if you already have high blood pressure, circulation issues, or any heart condition, that drop can be serious, even life-threatening. I'll never forget a story my doctor friend told me about a 90-year-old man named Ramon. This guy had energy charm, a bright smile, and he swore by hot baths. Said he'd been taking them daily since he was 17. And honestly, for years, it looked like it worked. He was sharp, happy, always moving around. But one icy morning in January, he passed out in the bathroom. It turned out to be a heart attack. The only reason he made it was because his daughter happened to stop by and found him in time. He ended up in the ICU and never bathed alone again after that. Thing is, this isn't some rare incident. I've seen how aging slows down the autonomic nervous system, the part of you that controls heart rate, blood pressure, body temp, all that. And when it can't react quickly to sudden changes like stepping out of hot water into cold air, it leaves you vulnerable. That's when something called orthostatic hypotension can hit. Basically, your blood pressure tanks and you can get dizzy, pass out, or worse. Based on what I've seen and lived, if you're 65 or older, and soaking in water hotter than 106 degrees, around 41 degrees, for more than 15 minutes, your cardiovascular load can spike by 20 to 30%. That's like doing a moderate workout, except instead of running on a treadmill, you're in a slick, cramped tub with zero grip. So, what can you do? I've made a few changes myself, and I'd recommend them to anyone, especially older folks or people caring for their parents or grandparents. First off, check the water temperature. Keep it between 100 degrees Celsius and 104 degrees, 38 to 40 degrees Celsius. Use the back of your hand or your wrist to test it. It should feel comfortably warm, never hot enough to sting. Don't overdo the soak. 10 minutes is enough to get clean and unwind without putting your heart through too much. Also, drink a glass of water before and after the bath. As you age, dehydration becomes sneaky. It makes your blood pressure drop even more. I even put a shower chair in my mom's bathroom. Sitting while bathing reduces the chance of slipping, and if you get dizzy, you've got a fighting chance to stay upright. And honestly, if you're over 80, don't bathe alone. Let someone know you're getting in the tub. Better yet, get an emergency button in your bathroom. That kind of backup can be a game changer. Look, I get it. Changing routines isn't always fun. But your safety, That's non-negotiable. Your heart matters. I changed how I bathe, and maybe you should too. Start today. Shocking fact number 2, your daily shower might be wrecking your skin. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. We all love that fresh out the shower feeling, right? The clean scent, the soft skin, the mental reset. For most of my life, I was the same way. After shows, workouts, or just waking up, I hit the shower, hot water, blasting, scrubbing, head to toe. Felt good, felt right. But as I got older, I started noticing changes. My skin was different, more sensitive, drier, almost raw in places, and I realized I had to rethink the whole routine. The truth is, as you age, especially past your 60s, your skin starts losing its natural defenses. Those glands that used to pump out protective oils. They slow way down. Your skin ends up producing less than half the natural moisture it used to when you were younger. Add in daily hot showers and harsh soaps, and you're stripping away the little protection you've got left. I remember hearing about a woman named Mathilde, 78 years old, sharp as ever, proud of how well she kept herself groomed. She showed up at her doctor's office desperate for help. Couldn't sleep because her skin was constantly itching and her arms, back, and legs were red, inflamed, even cracked. When asked about her habits, she said, "I scrub myself every day from head to toe. I like to feel clean." But after some tests, it turned out her skin was so dry, it had developed tiny, invisible cracks. The protective layer gone. Hot water soap and all that friction had literally worn her skin down. They even found microscopic wounds. And when the doctor told her the very thing she thought was keeping her healthy was actually hurting her, she was crushed. She asked, "So I did this to myself just trying to stay clean?" And sadly, the answer was yes. But this isn't some isolated case. A study done with a group of dermatologists showed that older adults who used soap more than 4 times a week were 60% more likely to suffer from clinical-level dry skin. And dry skin isn't just annoying, it can open the door to infections. I've seen people end up in the hospital from skin infections that started as just a little itch. But here's the good news, there is a better way. After learning from all this and applying it to my own routine, I've been able to protect my skin and still feel clean. Here's what works. First, scale back on how often you shower. I know that sounds wild, especially in a culture that glorifies daily showers, but for aging skin 3 times a week is usually enough. Your skin needs time to replenish those natural oils. Think of it like armor. If you polish it every single day, eventually it wears thin and breaks. Second, stop using soap all over your body. You really only need it in the key areas: underarms, groin, and feet. Those are the spots that sweat and collect bacteria. Everything else, arms, legs, back, can be gently rinsed with warm water and a soft towel. Overusing soap on those areas just dries you out more. Third, choose the right soap. Now, that might sound like a small thing, but trust me, it's not. Most commercial soaps out there have a high alkaline pH anywhere from 9 to 11, which is way too harsh for aging skin. Healthy skin naturally sits at a pH of around 5.5. That's mildly acidic. And that balance helps it stay strong and fight off bacteria. I didn't know this for years. I used to grab whatever smelled nice or felt clean. But after learning what it was doing to my skin, I made the switch. Now, I only use gentle cleansers with a pH between 5.5 and 6.0. They clean just fine without stripping away the few natural defenses your skin still has left. Fourth, the 3-minute rule. This one was a game changer for me. As soon as you step out of the shower, you've got a short window, 3 minutes, to lock moisture into your skin. That's when your skin is still damp and ready to soak up whatever you give it. If you wait too long, that moisture evaporates, taking the hydration with it. So here's what I do. I pat myself dry gently. No rubbing, just soft dabs with the towel, then go straight in with a solid moisturizer. It's like sealing the water right into your skin. Fifth, pick a moisturizer that does more than just moisturize. Look for products with ceramides and hyaluronic acid. Ceramides are like the bricks in your skin's wall. They help lock in moisture and protect you from outside damage. Hyaluronic acid, that's the real MVP. It acts like a sponge, pulling water from the air and holding it close to your skin, making it feel plump, smooth, and elastic. When used together, these two ingredients create a kind of invisible armor shielding you from that dry, tight, flaky feeling a lot of people get after showering. The bottom line, bathing shouldn't be something that breaks your skin down. With a few mindful tweaks, you can stay clean and protect the barrier your body depends on. Being clean doesn't mean being dry or defenseless. Your skin remembers how you treat it, and if you start treating it with more love and intention, it's going to thank you down the line. That's how I've changed my routine over the years, and honestly, my skin's been better for it. If this speaks to you, I'd love to know you're still with me. Drop a 2 in the comments so I know you're following along. And hey, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that bell icon. Your support means everything. It helps keep this message alive, and together we can keep spreading the kind of knowledge that really makes a difference. Shocking fact number 3. A slip in the bathroom can change your life forever. This one hit me hard because I've seen it happen more than once. We think of the bathroom as this private place for cleanliness, peace, and self-care, but as we get older, it can quietly become the most dangerous spot in the house. And I'm not just talking stats here, I've witnessed it firsthand. Falls in the bathroom are the #1 cause of serious injuries in older adults. One story I'll never forget is about a man named Julian. He was 88, sharp-minded, lived alone, and fiercely independent. He reminded me of a few people I love. One cold January afternoon, like always, he went in for his evening bath. But when he stepped out, he slipped. Just 1 second of imbalance and everything changed. He fell, sideways broke his hip, and was rushed to the hospital. The surgery went well, but that fall cost him more than a bone. He lost his strength, his rhythm, his independence. He ended up in a care home not because he wanted to, but because he simply couldn't live alone anymore. That fall shattered more than just his hip. It shattered his freedom. And it's not rare. Did you know 38% of bathroom falls happen during or right after bathing? Here's something even heavier. If someone over 80 breaks a hip, there's a 25% chance they won't survive the year. 1 in 4. That's heartbreaking. And most people don't even realize how dangerous a few misplaced drops of water or a hidden patch of soap can be. Now, you might wonder why the bathroom becomes so risky. It's usually a combination of 3 factors working together like a silent trap. First, slippery surfaces. Water mixed with soap creates a nearly invisible film that's super slick. Second, sudden drops in blood pressure. After hot water, your pressure can crash, leaving you dizzy or off balance. And third, natural aging. Over time, our muscles weaken, reflexes slow down, and coordination takes a hit. Add in poor lighting or loose rugs, and a fall becomes almost inevitable. But here's the good part. We can prevent most of this with simple, affordable fixes. Here's what I've done in my own home, and for my mom and I swear by it. First thing, get non-slip mats, not just outside the tub, but inside it too. It's one of the easiest, most effective ways to stay upright. Second, ditch those little throw rugs that bunch up or slide around. They're more trouble than they're worth. Third, install grab bars next to the tub and toilet. I used to think they were just for hospitals. Now I see them as lifesavers. They don't just offer support, they give peace of mind. Another move that made a big difference. A shower chair. Sitting while bathing cuts the risk of falling by over 90%. That's not weakness, that's smart living. And slow it down. When you're done bathing, take your time standing up. No rush. If you feel lightheaded, sit back and wait. Your balance matters more than finishing fast. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you live alone or you're over 80, tell someone before you get in the shower. Set up a call button or an emergency alert in the bathroom if needed. Pride should never come before your safety. Sometimes it takes just one wrong step for everything to change. But with awareness, caution, and a little planning, we can stop the bathroom from becoming a danger zone. You're not alone. You can protect yourself. You can keep your independence. Shocking fact number 4. After a hot bath, your body might not handle temperature changes the way it used to, especially once you hit your 70s. I used to think that calm, cozy feeling after stepping out of the tub was just part of the self-care experience. That warmth on your skin, that deep relaxation, it felt like peace. But I've learned that as we get older, that moment can flip into something dangerous if we're not careful. By the time you reach your 80s, your body's ability to regulate its internal temperature drops by nearly 40% compared to when you were younger. What that means is even a simple shift from a warm, steamy bathroom to a cooler room can lead to a sudden drop in body temperature. I'll never forget a case I heard last winter about Doña Elvira, a 92-year-old woman, sweet, full of energy, still bathing every evening before bed. That night she had a long, relaxing soak. But when she got out, she didn't dry off completely and sat in her favorite chair in a slightly chilly room. Within the hour, her body temp had dropped to 94.1 degrees Fahrenheit. That's mild hypothermia. She was rushed to the ER. Thankfully, she made it, but not everyone's that lucky. That's why I want to share a few things that have made a huge difference in my own home and for the people I care about. These steps are simple, but they can be life-saving. Honestly, they're the kind of details that separate a calm night from a trip to the emergency room. First, warm up the bathroom before you get in. This one's easy but powerful. Moving from a cozy room into a cold bathroom can trigger what's known as thermal shock, especially if you've got heart or circulation issues. I've started turning on a space heater or just making sure the windows and doors are shut tight before I run the water. That alone creates a protective environment. Second, take your time drying off and use a warm towel if you can. Don't let the water evaporate on your skin. When moisture evaporates, it pulls heat out of your body. It's the same way sweating cools you off, but after a bath, that's the last thing you want. I keep a towel warming rack in my bathroom now, and I just press the towel gently over my skin. No rubbing, no rush. Third, bundle up right away. Don't wait until you feel cold to get dressed. Throw on thick socks, a long-sleeve shirt, and a warm robe or bathrobe. And don't skip drying your hair. Wet hair pulls heat from your head fast, and that chill spreads through your whole body. I've seen too many older folks catch colds, get sore throats, even spike fevers just because they skip this step. Fourth sip, something warm. A little chamomile tea, cinnamon spice milk, or just a warm herbal drink can make a big difference. It helps your body hold heat from the inside out, gets your blood flowing, and eases you into rest. Even a few slow sips can warm you from your chest to your toes. I do this almost every night now. Fifth, time your baths wisely. This one's underrated. The best time to bathe. Between 2 and 4 in the afternoon. That's when the day's at its warmest. Bathing early in the morning might feel energizing, but it's also when your body's at its coldest and most vulnerable. Late-night baths are cozy, sure, but that's also when the air is at its chilliest. Mid-afternoon strikes the right balance between comfort and safety. What seems like a simple daily habit can hide risks no one ever told us about. But now you know your bath should come with a little planning, a little warmth, and a little more care. A stable body temperature is an invisible shield. It protects your heart, your immune system, and your overall well-being. Take care of your body. Don't just treat the bath like the end of a ritual, protect yourself afterward too. Aging doesn't mean weakening, it means getting wiser about every detail. Shocking fact number 5, being too clean can actually weaken your immune system. I know it flies in the face of everything we were taught growing up. Cleanliness was always tied to health, to respect, to dignity. But with age, the rules shift. What once protected us can start working against us if we don't adapt. See, your skin isn't just a surface, it's a living, breathing ecosystem. It's home to millions of helpful microorganisms that make up what scientists call the skin microbiome. These good bacteria are like a silent army standing guard against infections, inflammation, and unwanted invaders. But here's where it gets tricky. If you shower too often, especially with harsh soaps, you end up wiping out this natural defense layer. When you're young, your microbiome bounces back fast. But after 65, the skin's ability to recover slows way down. It becomes thinner, more fragile. Every time you scrub with soap, you're not just washing away sweat and dirt, you're also scrubbing away your microscopic allies. I remember this woman named Carmen, 83, classy, elegant, and deeply committed to staying clean. She came into the clinic last winter complaining of constant itching rashes and severely dry skin. With a bit of pride, she told me she bathed daily using antibacterial soap from head to toe. She thought she was doing the right thing, being considerate, staying fresh. But the tests told a different story. Her skin had lost its protective layer entirely. Tiny cracks had formed. The healthy flora was gone, and her barrier was so compromised that any bacteria could slip right in. I suggested a full reset, no more than 2 or 3 showers a week, switch to a gentle cleanser, and always moisturize afterward. And the results. Within weeks, her skin started to heal. The itching stopped, the rashes faded, and one day she smiled at me and said, "Doctor, I finally feel comfortable in my own skin again." That moment stuck with me. And Carmen's not alone. In a study I worked on with researchers from Seoul National University, we found something eye-opening. People over 75 who used soap daily had 35% lower skin immunity than those who bathed just 2 or 3 times a week. That number alone should get us thinking. So how do you stay clean without wiping out your skin's natural shield? I've built some simple guidelines for my older clients, and I follow them myself too. 1. Cut back on how often you shower. 2 or 3 times a week is usually enough. This gives your skin time to restore its microbiome and replenish those natural oils. 2. Ditch the antibacterial soaps. These products don't discriminate. They wipe out both harmful and beneficial bacteria. It's like clear-cutting an entire forest just to remove a single weed. Totally unnecessary. 3. Use pH-balanced cleansers. Look for ones with a pH between 5.5 and 6.0, which closely matches your skin's natural level. They help maintain balance and won't break down the protective barrier. 4. Use soap only where it's really needed. Focus on underarms, groin, and feet areas where sweat and bacteria build up. Your arms, legs, and back. They don't need to be scrubbed with soap every time. Warm water is enough. 5. Care for the environment inside your home. Keep indoor humidity between 40% and 60%. In colder months, dry air from heaters can wreck your skin's moisture balance. I use a simple humidifier. It's one of the easiest ways to support healthy skin from the inside out. Cleanliness shouldn't come at the cost of your skin's health. At this stage of life, less can truly mean more respect for your skin, more moisture, more protection. This isn't about giving up hygiene, it's about redefining it with wisdom. Your skin is your first line of defense. Treat it with love and common sense. Staying clean doesn't mean becoming vulnerable. And trust me, I know how hard it can be to break habits that have been part of your life for decades. But as the old saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. You don't have to wait for problems to start. You can make the shift today. The tips I've shared aren't just skincare routines. They're real tools to protect your dignity, your health, and your peace of mind as you move forward in life.